Short-term focus, long-term outlook. If you did not catch yesterday's Purecast here in the VIP group, I definitely recommend that you take an opportunity maybe after this to go listen to that 10-minute talk that we did. And listen, if you're like me, what you're going to do is you're going to change the speed on it to 1.5 so you could get it done in 7.5 minutes. It's all about efficiency, right, people? All right. So what I want to talk about is this short-term focus and what should be our short-term focus. Well, for anybody who is in the midst of doing the no nonsense challenge right now, this is going to make a lot of sense because your short-term focus is on the daily habits. So every single day you should be looking back on your day to see, hey, did I check the boxes on these things? And those are your short-term focuses. Just something that lets you know that you are taking the right actions and that you're being consistent with it one day after the next. But then there is the long-term outlook. And this does tie into what we discussed yesterday, how often we look at our results and maybe we feel like we're not progressing as fast as we should be. We are expecting to see more and it's not actually happening. And so we have, in one sense, this long-term outlook that says, hey, I recognize this is going to take a lot of time. But then in another sense, you're looking at it saying, hey, this should have happened yesterday and it hasn't. And I'm upset about it. So here's the deal with long-term outlook. Well, first you have to know, what is it that you are looking to see? What is it that you are looking to achieve? Now, what's really great is that if you're in studio and you're collecting this data on your, on your Fit3D scanner, or if you're at home and you're consistently tracking your body weight, maybe taking photos as well, all of this is great data in order to compile and come up with what is the realistic long-term outlook. So I could say this because I did my scan today. And, if I compare it to last week, according to some of the numbers, I got worse. So this was interesting. I saw a decrease, or actually I should say an increase in my body fat percentage. But the interesting thing was that I actually had a big major improvement in my lean body mass, which was something that I was looking to do. And I could take some of these results and I could compare them to last week, right? Looking at this short term, and I could feel as though I didn't do as well. Or I could look at it, and even though I had some numbers go up, I had others balance out exactly the way that I wanted to. So was it a successful week? Well, it depends. What's your long-term outlook, right? And so my long-term outlook is based on what I scanned at the very beginning. I saw that I was at the lowest lean mass that I have been since I've taken scans. So now we're talking about years. And it was kind of really disappointing to me because I'm like, I didn't really change all that much, but maybe I wasn't focusing on some of the little things. And from that first week to that second week, what was really interesting is I had the drop in weight, I had the drop in body fat percentage, and so I was really happy about that. And yet when I came this week, well, I had an increase in fat percentage. I had an increase in body weight, but that lean mass came up. And so really in my mind, I'm super excited. And what's cool, and even though this is not really a long-term view, if you're comparing one week to the next, just like you can compare your weight from one day to the next, it can get to be a little disappointing. It can be something that absolutely drives you nuts. I know that. I've had all the conversations with you guys around it. You've had those conversations with members of our team. It's frustrating, right? We all know that. We accept it. Fine, let's move on. But what's really cool, though, is that when I compared today's to the one that I had taken at the very beginning, which was only 2 weeks ago, what I saw was body weight unchanged. Body fat percentage, a little drop. But here's what I was really happy about. I saw my fat mass, total pounds of fat, come down by 3, and I saw my lean mass go up by 3 pounds. That to me is a huge win because now we're talking about body composition. I don't care all that much about my body weight and all that stuff. I mean, I know, listen, for many of you, that is a target and that should be, keep it out there. Nothing wrong with that at all. But at the end of the day, it is all about changes in our body composition, right? And so what we really want to look for is, am I changing in those inches? Am I changing in my fat mass versus my lean mass? And those are the markers that we really want to pay attention to. So the thing is that you can only have that long-term outlook, right, if you know what you're going towards. So this cannot be something that where you just indiscriminately say, hey, I just want to lose weight. You have to know what you're trending towards, and then you have to use the data to let you know if you're on track. But because sometimes that is hard to distill down and truly understand, then the best thing to do is to just have your short-term focus. That short-term focus on this is what I'm going to do each day, and I'm going to do my very best to check these boxes, knowing that as long as I'm checking those boxes, guess what? Over the long run, you'll achieve that long-term outlook. So I just want to throw it out there today for some of you who, again, maybe you are still struggling around what you're seeing day to day or week over week, or just comparing 1 week to the last week. This is why we have to play the long game, because only in the course of the long game do you get to see whether or not you are truly winning. So that said, I hope you guys have an awesome one today. As always, give us a shout in the group, in the No Nonsense group, if you got any questions over any of the functions of the challenge or any foods that you are starting to consume. I'm seeing a lot of questions around that, which is good. It shows me that you guys are paying attention. But we will be back with you guys tomorrow. Please stay engaged. Keep rocking it. You guys are doing awesome. We love you. We will catch you tomorrow.